I think we'll continue from there. We'll continue from there, ma'am.
Yeah, right. All right. So I was asking, ma'am, like, how often do you have to, like, spray it?
Usually, the sickness is treated when it is needed.
Right, but immediately it doesn't go off, right? So, like, say you sprayed today, and then, like, it may the fungus may stay for a month, or like, it cannot go immediately. So, you spray like 3 days, or like, once in a week is enough. Because too much of spraying, that also might not be good, right?
Anjali was saying something.
No, yeah. As you said, the sickness must be treated when they show some signs of if the leaves are dull or something like that, then you will come to know it has been attacked by some pests or fungal attack. And if you are going with neem oil, then once in a month or once in 15 days, if you give a diluted version, especially this indoor plants, they usually get attacked with these mealybugs and all. So for the indoor plants and all, it is fine. Once in 15 days or once in a month, you can give a spray. Nothing will happen. But yeah, if chemicals, then what I advise is then only when you see some signs, only then you spray some fungicide or insecticide.
Yeah, I have not tried this, but a gardener was talking about it. Normally, if you are going for organic type of gardening and without using any chemical pesticides, then baking soda, the one what we are using in the kitchen, cooking soda, sodium bicarbonate, it is a chemical. Just 1 or 2 spoons of sodium bicarbonate with one spoon of neem oil, along with the liquid detergent, dilute it to 1 liter, and if you keep it with your sprayer, I think a dozen insects as well as fungus it is going to control, it seems. So it is harmless because it is a simple chemical what we are using, and probably even if it is an insect, he said to name like mealybugs, aphids, thrips, mites, white flies, worms, caterpillars, then powdery mildew, fungus, plant fungi, black spots of roses, leaf rust. Likewise, so many varieties of insects and fungus can be controlled. So to start with, instead of using chemicals and you need to be taking care, you'll have to use gloves and lot of you need to be a chemist when you are using a pesticide and insecticides. You should keep it away from the children and animals, dogs and cats and all those things. So this is the best one. Just prepare 1 liter and keep it handy. If your garden, if it is half a dozen plants or potted plants, indoor plants you are having, this would be handy. And it is a very simple, insecticide, pesticide.
Okay, all right. So we have the next question here.
One more question is there.
Yeah.
One more suggestion is there, not question. Like, see, we get this neem cake also. Okay, using that in a pot mixture is said to avoid some kind of insects and fungus from the soil. That also can be used. I have personally not used, but again the ratio I'm not sure. Maybe Sureshnath sir can give a suggestion on that.
What is to be mixed along with
neem cake, sir?
Yeah, neem cake is a wonderful material which will it is an rodent repeller, insect repeller, white ant repeller. So you can no hard and fast rule. Maybe for a plant pot of 2 or 3 kg soil, you can add 100 grams of neem cake, mix it well, and put it. I think it is the best insect repeller, as well as it is against natural fungicide also. You can control, and it doesn't harm the soil microbes. So neem cake is a wonderful, material. Along with any type of soil, you can mix it, and it is, advisable. Even for coconut trees, people used to put neem cakes, but then the quantity should be large, because once in a year you are normally replenishing the things in the coconut, garden and all. But for small plants, even 1 spoon, 2 spoon for your pots, regularly you can keep on replenishing. That's the good one.
Okay. So moving on to the next question. So here's the question. I sowed lady's finger seeds. They sprouted, but the stems grew very lengthy. Later on, they started falling. Why? Same thing happened when they sowed green gram seeds also.
Looks like over manuring also. See, the whole concept of growing vegetables, if we in the beginning only, if the soil is too fertile or too much fertility of the soil, just the plant will grow very big. The growth is very good, but you're not getting the fruit or the flowers. It has to be. That's why we are telling from the beginning of this program, anything in too much kills the plants. It includes this also. If the soil is too good, also is bad. It shouldn't be like too good. At that time, the leaves, the plant is concentrating on only the personal growth, only the leaves. There is no, any vegetables or fruit, flowers could be seen. In Kannada, we have to say, gida sokkatte. It's not the plant which is ready to, it just becomes so wild. It's not going to grow vegetable. And second point is, it can be the seed what they have got. If they have got it from somebody like a friends or family or anybody local, it's okay. But again, don't believe everything you get from nursery. That is highly commercial. If you have the seed made, all this fair and whatever regarding plants and all, if it is very genuine and local, okay. But if it is a big time commercial, this believe 50% of it would or might work.
And Asha, particularly when you are speaking about lady's finger fruit and lady's finger plant, normally they will grow 2 to 3 feet height.
That's right.
And for 3-4 months or more than that, it will be there. So you need to have supporting system the moment you think about a plant like lady's finger plant.
Right.
Small bamboo supporting material should be there, because within no time this plant will go from 1 foot to 2 feet height. And sometimes if it is growing tall, you can prune them so that it can start branching from the bottom itself, and you can support the branches once again. Then your yield also will be more, because instead of one branch growing, one stem growing straight, you can have 2-3 branches growing, side by side. That also you can control the growth of the plant. Yeah, over-manuring. Sometimes, as Sindhu said, too much is too bad. Sometimes you pamper the plants, then there will be a problem.
Right. It's like like the way we have obesity in children. So it's like something same class.
That you call for baby fat.
And one more thing, lady's finger, whoever is growing, be extremely careful. That is a one plant which catches and attracts insects and fungus and all possible things which can happen. If you are losing heart with lady's finger, trust me, it happens with everybody who is growing it for the first time. But that's how you learn. See what happens now, what I am growing in my garden, it would be difficult or different in Anjali's. What grows there might be difficult and different here in different regions. So until you get, I have told in my session, until you have to get, until you get your hands in the garden, we cannot say how much and what you need. We can generally give idea, but it is them who have to really see to it.
Yeah, we call it a standardization. We need to work with the plant, with the soil, with the material and all, then which plant would grow. It's hard and fast. It's a trial and error.
Right. So moving on to same thing is asked about the green gram plant also. I think the same thing is applicable in as well.
Green gram seeds, there are like n number of varieties. If you just get home to sprout it, you can occasionally see like some will sprout, some won't sprout, some will sprout really well, some just won't sprout. This is also variety, and I don't know, sometimes the farmers also are like using what to grow, we don't know. So you have to get those varieties which will grow. Okay? If you are so interested in growing green grams, don't just think what you're getting and sprouting for the kitchen, for the salads, to grow into the plants. You have to get that particular growing plant.
Right. Yeah, that's a common one. Yeah, I mean, even I've seen, usually the green gram, everything doesn't sprout. Some of them sprout and some of them doesn't.
Yeah, but then every seed, when you are putting in the soil, they go through what you call seed dormancy. They have their own resistance to germinate. So sometimes they don't germinate and they simply get destroyed. And sometimes they will be, hibernating, or they will be, they will just be, attacked by either by the insect or by the fungi, and they will be destroyed. So sometimes seed dormancy is also a challenge for the, people who are putting, interested in growing small plants, minimum plants like that, for a hobby when they are doing it, when they are not cultivating in a large scale.
Asha, the simplest way, what I have done, now suppose say sesame, okay? What happens now, that is very good in Punjab kind of place. So if you have that in your mind, you kind of get the idea, okay, it needs that kind of fertility, that kind of weather, whether I am living in such area. Okay, that time you can relate whether that is doable. Now green gram, where it is growing, what kind of fertility that particular area will have, that kind of temperature do we have, all this matters, right? I haven't tried green gram, but I have always had a problem with sprouting green grams. So that's why I connected that. Might be, see, whoever is growing it, they have to see whether it is okay growing, or do some research before you put the seeds into soil. Or might be there is some way you have to treat the seed before they plant it.
Okay. Okay.
Normally green grams, these grams, whether it is a horse gram or green gram or any type of black gram, they are grown in a paddy field. After one crop they are doing it, and you grow them in your garden soil, probably they may not, it is not suitable. As Sindhu said, somebody wanted to grow onion here in Mangalore, then I said, you go to North Karnataka, then you can grow onion very well, not in Mangalore. For interest sake, for one or two, for experimental, you can grow onion here in Mangalore, or potatoes in Mangalore, but not on a large scale. Where you want to grow groundnut, to grow groundnut, you need a particular type of soil, sandy soil. So when you see the plants, when it is mature, you should be able to pull all the pods out. If you grow them in a paddy field, only the plants will come out, the pods will be there still in the soil when they want to harvest. So you can't grow this. That is where, as he said, yes, you need to go through that particular climatic condition, the type of soil, what is necessary.
Whatever is said to grow in the paddy field, they need a clay and just dry land.
Sindhu, you are asking me, is it?
Yes.
What is the question then?
When you told, right, after paddy we'll grow these grams. So I'm asking, do they need obviously they don't need as much as water as paddy needs. Are they having it in the clay or it dries up after that?
No, that is a, for times immemorial we have been growing in our, even in Bangalore as a crop rotation.
Okay.
After monocot crop once, then you go for a dicot where nitrogen fixation takes place in the soil because of the grams. All grams, dicot grams, green gram, Bengal gram, horse gram, they have got nitrogen fixation capacity. So they enrich the soil for the next crop, paddy crop, when they are growing. So as a side crop they grow these grams, as a main crop they grow is the paddy. And coincidentally it is convenient that the same type of the paddy field, the clay soil, clay and silty soil is suitable for grams also. That is blessings in disguise. Otherwise we would have grown only paddy. Then crop rotation would not have taken place. Now it is enriching. So main crop is paddy, but as a short term, 3 months, 4 months, during the summer you convert it into cereals. Grams.
Okay, and here is a question. I find a lot of plants and snails in my pot. Kindly suggest how to get rid of them.
What is that? Asha, repeat the question.
Yeah, I see a lot of slugs and snails in my pot. So how to get rid of them?
The best one is cooking soda. Our baking soda. 1 or 2 spoons of baking soda, you put it into the water, shake it well and spray it. Wonderful. You will have overnight the snails and slugs will run away.
Okay.
Whatever snails and slugs are there, they will be destroyed.
Okay, that's a great. But that doesn't harm any ways, I think, right? I mean, it's just that.
It may not directly harm, but it carries a number of bacteria and other things. So thereby it will create problems.
Salt water also works.
Yeah, salt water. Some amount of salt water, some amount you can spray.
Okay. Okay, that's a easy.
And in nurseries you get the snail killer, small pieces of snail killer thing you get. If you put it also it works, but usually in rainy season it is common to have.
Yeah, right.
But baking soda and salt. So when you spray salt, these snails, they because of the high concentration, the dehydration takes place, and the snails will shrink and it will die. They will suffer from dehydration. So it's a natural and very simple way of dealing with the slugs and snails.
Okay. All right. So here is a question for Sureshnath sir. So when we grow plants. Yeah, go ahead.
I was mute, sir. That whatever sir and Anjali gave the suggestion, this is for the plants which are there in the pots, like terrestrial. What if the snail and stuff are there in the aquatic plants, like lotus? You know what you have to do? I have lot of lotus. What I do is night I put a piece of cabbage. Say a piece of cabbage. Morning all the snails will come and they'll be on the cabbage eating them, okay? You can take them and throw it as far as possible. That's the easiest way. You have a lot of, with the aquatic. And also, if it is terrestrial, you can use sunna around the pot.
What's that again?
Limestone. Lime.
If you have a huge garden, then don't worry. Because once the rain is gone, as Anjali said, they'll go away. Forget about once the rain goes. If it is once hot sun in Bangalore, all will be dead.
Yeah, right. Right. Okay. So, here's a question. Does a neem oil harm plants?
No. It's a natural, it's a neem extracted from a neem plant. Just like Anjali was talking about orange peels can be insecticide or a pesticide. The same way neem oil you know, by you can't spray the oil as such. You are, you know, dissolving that oil with the soap and you know, water, and then you are spraying it. It will, you know, it will be a very good insecticide as well as a, you know, fungicide for the plants. Neem oil and neem cake. Neem cake in the, for the soil, neem oil for the plant, for the foliage, for the leaves.
Okay, alright.
And you don't need to spray it every now and then. You know, once in 15 days, once in a month. If there is a symptoms, if you see, then only. Otherwise, normally healthy plants when they are growing don't unnecessarily matter with that. They have their own resistance.
Okay, alright. And is cocoa peat harmful during rainy season?
If it is a potted plant, then you need to regulate the watering, because it holds the water for a long time, regularly. If it is summer, probably you are you know, keeping it to keep it the plants cool, to hold the water for a long time, and to help with drainage. All that you are using this cocoa peat. Cocoa peat in the ground, you know, plants, absolutely no problem. Cocoa peat when it is used in the pots, you need to regulate the water.
Okay,
Asha,
but as
it is a blessing.
yeah,
It will be a blessing for some plants like Ankuram and all, because they love water. Even money plant, we all love water. So if you have cocoa peat for such plants, it's okay even in rainy season. But like alocasia, these all do not want lot of water. The moment you put even Z plants, ZZ, all these plants, all they will rot. Especially the roots, you have to see at the roots. Okay, if the roots are very fine and very soft, then they cause very it causes cocoa peat causes very bad effect. That time you better keep the pots somewhere else, as Sureshnath said.
Yeah, cocoa peat is not advisable for all type of plants. Only if it is planted on the ground, then, you know, along with the manure you can mix cocoa peat and use it. But when you are putting it in a potted plant and indoor, you need to be careful, because it will hold the soil, you know, water for a long time, and that can be, you know, detrimental to the roots.
And we have spoken about it. Yeah,
Plant parent who usually forgets to water the plant, adding cocoa peat is the best thing. Like you can reduce the amount of water which you give for your plant, you know. So it usually helps.
okay.
But if somebody grows cactus with cocoa peat, you know,
No.
then there is a problem.
Yeah, that is the thing. You need to know your plant, whether it needs cocoa peat in the soil mixture or it doesn't need cocoa peat. It just needs sand, more of sand and less of soil or something. The mixture, potting mixture needs to be learned first, you know, as soon as you get a plant.
Yeah, that is.
So, on the same line of the previous question, so, you know, the participant is asked, so in my garden, when I spray diluted neem oil to plants infected with, you know, mealy bugs, some leaves had brown edges after a day or two. So on the neem oil, the question was, you know, posted regarding neem oil, right? So, yeah, I think it must have been concentrated. So that it has to be diluted, right? So if you take a 1 tablespoon of neem oil, I mean, what's the amount of water that has to be, you know, put into that?
As Sureshnath sir said, they have to dilute it. Whatever she said, it is concentrated.
Right. I mean, if you take a 1 tablespoon of neem oil, so how much should be the water that should be added?
1 liter.
Sureshnath sir, yeah.
One cap, the neem oil bottle will be having a cap, right? One
Right.
cap of neem oil, 1 liter of water.
Okay. So for one cap, 1 liter of water.
Yes.
It will be so strong.
Soap is important.
Soap water is important.
Otherwise,
so
it will not be dissolving in water.
Otherwise, it will be oil drops on the water. So when you're basically spraying, the
Oil will be on the surface.
On the
And
surface
so by adding soap into the oil, it becomes an emulsion.
Right.
And only it mixes with water. Otherwise, oil will be separate, water will be separate. You cannot do the needful.
it will be huge drops on the leaves. That's why it has burnt.
All right, yeah. I think, that step was also missed, maybe because of that, the soap has to be added along with...
Emulsification is a must.
Right. So even the soap water, how much should be the ratio? If you take a liquid soap...
Just few drops to dissolve this oil. You can take 1 spoon as 1 cup or 1 spoon of oil, then put a few drops of liquid soap or detergent powder. Dissolve it, you will understand that it is going to be, becoming an emulsion. Then you put it into the water. It will straight away go into the water.
Basically, when you see the liquid, it should be homogeneous.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. And
just like detergent powder is used for washing our clothes. In our clothes, we have got oily, sweat, which is producing oil. The cups and collar, wherever our dark staining material, it is nothing but the oil from our body. Detergent emulsifies it and then washing. So the same way.
Right. So it if there is neem leaves are available, can that be made into paste and dilute it and apply on the plant?
Fine.
But the ratio will be different because oil is highly concentrated. Neem paste is not.
Okay. Right.
But as somebody said, you put the neem leaves into the mixie, make a juice out of that and spray that juice into the plants. And concentration you need not bother. It is fine. It is good for the soil also, good for the plant also. We can do that.
Okay.
But you cannot use a sprayer. You need to use your, sprinkler, hand sprinkling. You'll have to collect that juice in the bucket and then use your hand and sprinkle something, on those plants, just like you are sprinkling water.
Okay. So how to control wild mushroom growth in coconut tree pits?
Is that bothering?
Coconut tree?
In coconut tree pits, you see this, mushroom, wild mushrooms grow, right? So how do you avoid that? How to control that?
I'm sorry, but is that bothering? Is it any causing problem? They will just go because of the rainy season.
Typically, I don't think so. It harms, but the participant has asked a question on that.
Yes. Usually it won't harm the coconut tree because I have seen in my garden too. And they'll go away. Once the rain is gone, once the water and the cool temperature is gone, they'll go away.
True. Yeah.
Maybe who knows, that is a kind of nourishment also.
Yeah.
Mushroom is a,
क्या हुआ? बंद ये
Changing the water.
Yes.
Keep the same water. Once in 10 days or at least. It depends. If the plant is happy with that water, that's not an issue. Once in 15 days is also fine. Changing the water. But yeah, if you see any algae growing in the bottle, that shouldn't happen. You need to
clean the bottle also.
Clean the bottle too.
Okay.
Don't keep it very. It should be very clear. Shouldn't be muddy or shouldn't be opaque. It should be very clear. That means the water is clean. She takes all the oxygen from the water. Okay, and there is different kind of organisms growing. We won't realize so much. because we have restricted the surface and the environment of that plant. It is simple, but there is lot of restriction for a money plant. It is supposed to be in the soil. We have put it in the water. So we need to take care of it. We have put it in a bad condition. So we are in charge of regularly cleaning it, watering it.
And even light. And even
Yes.
light. Do not keep it in a dark place. Keep it near a window or something where the plant gets sufficient light.
And when there is light, there is a lot of algae growing. So that is when you have to keep changing water.
Okay. All right. And the next question is on does kokedama need a lot of water?
Does kokedama need?
Lot of water?
Again, depends on what plant you're using. If it is a succulent, definitely no, you don't need more of water. But kokedama, if I am watering my pot plant once in a 2 days, kokedama once in a 4 days is enough. Because I have used a lot of coco peat in that.
Okay.
So we have to be very careful. See, even in the case of succulent, I can't make a sand ball. So what do I do as a plant parent? I will use some media to hold it. I can't use mud because I can't just use soil because that just doesn't let the water flow. So I use coco peat and sand. Therefore, if it is a succulent kokedama, please do not water more than once a week. Okay, once a week is enough. If it is again zandu, enough. Once in a 4 days is enough. And I hope the one who has asked me the question, asked us a question, know how to water kokedama. You have to literally dip the moss ball in water till the air bubbles are gone, and then you have to keep 2 minutes. It should be literally soaked. When you lift it, the water should be dripping at least for 5 minutes. You just can't dip and just remove it. No, you have to dip it for longer time.
Okay.
And
Okay,
if
the
you're,
water retention.
keep continue.
Yeah, if you're keeping in a shady, usually kokedama will be indoor. You don't keep it under sun. So remember, water won't be evaporated as easily as in a garden. These are something like almost an indoor plant. So treat them like an indoor plant. You wouldn't water indoor plant a lot of times.
Right.
So that's a tip.
If you want the kokedama to be green like this, the moss to be grown in this way, then you need to regularly water it. You shouldn't allow the moss to get dry. It is if you're hanging, you need to regularly spray, and if you are keeping it, then you can keep a plate like this and just place the kokedama upon it. And if the extra water will be in the plate, so it will be always wet. But as Sindhu said, usually kokedama doesn't need a lot of water if it is dry moss. In the sense the moss gets dry, then the dipping method is more than enough. But
There are two types of moss. What actually has used is what grows on the compound and live moss, which is there on the compound stone. There is another moss, which is like a fiber that is again grown on the cold regions like Ooty, Coorg, Shimoga. They will dry them. Those are dry moss. They won't get green. What Anjali showed is live moss.
Normal.
Yeah, to keep it.
Filaria, what you call, that is
Yes. So that moss, whatever I said, what Anjali said is extremely true. And again, you don't use this moss with your succulent water which you want. You have to use common sense here. Don't use live moss to succulent and say I want it green. No, it won't happen. If you want that to happen, you have to be literally behind it, like only see to that it is just spray to the moss, not going inside the moss. So it's little struggle.
So there are plants called, they have used the general word moss but then the names of the mosses like Funaria, Bryum, Sphagnum.
Yeah, what I used was sphagnum moss. The dry moss is sphagnum moss.
What I use is the sheet moss. The
Yes.
sheet moss, which we
Yes. Yes, that is usually grown on the rock and the compound
yeah.
where there is moisture. What is sphagnum moss is growing on the tree. They are like they're adapting the tree. What we call, there is a word for that, I forgotten.
Epiphyte.
Yes,
Epiphyte.
Epiphyte. Yeah, what happens is those are kind of grown, and you know that kind of moss is being used for a lot of different purposes, whereas what Anjali is used, that is highly ornamental.
Yeah.
Okay.
This sphagnum moss could be used in potting mixture also. If you have a lot of sphagnum moss, could be used. Again, it works the same as cocopeat. I have seen some people growing orchid, the aerial orchid, only in sphagnum moss.
Okay. And we have one last question for Sureshnath sir. So when we grow plants, a lot of young saplings grow around them. I heard people saying we have to cut them off, otherwise your plant doesn't grow well. Is it true or is it a myth?
No, you are putting a cutting in the soil, or you are putting the seedlings in the soil, or what sort of things? Because when you put a plant in the soil, this they do not grow from the from the bottom, from the base, all like that.
No, I mean, typically, I think the question is like when you plant, I mean, you see that some small grass or like, weeds.
They are called weeds. Then they are called weeds.
So does it have to be like, plucked, or like, does it affect the growth of the plant? Or is it just a myth? I mean, does it help the plant in any way?
If it is in a pot, definitely you are, weeding it out. You are allowing your plant of your interest only to grow. You don't allow any other plant to grow in your pot other than the plant what you are interested in. And in a garden, also you have got a limited space, and you have got a limited, number of plants, and you are very specific about these plants to be grown in this in a ground, in a garden. Say in a garden 10 into 10 square feet when you have, you would identify that this area is for this plant, this area is for this plant, whether it is a flowering plant or a plant which is planted for the colored leaves. So croton like plants, they are grown for their leaves. Or there is a flowering plant, whether it is Sri Lankan jasmine or Arabian jasmine or golden gardenia or edenium, whatever. So you do not allow any other plants to grow other than these selected, specified plant of your choice. So that is called weeding. And it is normal when you allow the weeds to grow by the side of your plant of interest. Automatically they will take more nourishment from the soil, and there will be competition between your plant of your interest and weeds. And weeds are naturally, they are more capable, and they will win the race. They are more resistant, they are more challenging than the plants of your choice. So automatically they will outweigh your plants. So weeding is important. Yeah, the other type of plants which are growing, if by chance there are interesting plants which are growing by the side, then take them and plant it elsewhere separately.
Okay. So, I mean, this is specifically for planting. I mean, for a banana and all, you see that small, saplings that, So in that case, like, do you have to cut it off, or like,
Yeah, no, that's what my interest was. Banana plant, once one plant, either you call the comes, one tuber of banana plant, if you are putting in the soil,
right,
it will grow first. But meanwhile, from the base, a number of other, tubers also will erupt.
Right.
When this particular plant, the main plant has produced a banana bunch, then you cut it off and allow another plant only to grow. Do not allow all the plants to grow. There will be half a dozen tubers will be growing simultaneously. If you allow all the half a dozen tubers, then they may not be able to yield. So allow only one plant to take the lead, and other plants you can just destroy it.
Okay, just chop it off.
Yeah, chop it off. So every time you allow, because that plant, when that plant is growing, it will produce another half a dozen tubers. So when this second plant has produced it has completed harvesting, it has produced a banana bunch, allow one more, whichever the healthiest tuber among the half a dozen.
Okay.
So this is how you continuously, family planning has to be done.
Right.
Asha, and see, banana, if it is a concern of banana plant, nobody grows in the pot, so you need not worry about the nutrition. It's enough and plenty on earth. Okay, so don't worry about the nutrition, and whatever professor said, it's right. Don't worry, once it is yielded, just destroy it, let other grow.
Banana plant, when you are growing in a garden, you take care in the beginning itself, spacing.
Yes.
One plant, another plant. If you want to grow, if you have got enough place to have 10 banana plants, then enough spacing is done. Then you should make sure that in these 10 feet, only one plant is growing at a time. Then it will produce banana bunch, healthy and good one. In one pot itself, if you think that one plant produces half a dozen, you allow all the half a dozen, and you say that 10 plants in the beginning, then half a dozen, 10 into 6, 60 plants in 1 year, and 120 plants in another. That doesn't help. Because at that time, depletion of organic material, everything will take place.
And does bonsai require a lot of sunlight?
Yes. Depends which is that, but it requires sunlight. If you are keeping indoors, definitely you need to keep it out once in a 10 days and get it out, get it in again. It needs. Usually how it is done, you have 2 bonsai and you have kept it indoors. It's a rotation. 10 days you keep one plant in, one plant out. You can't keep bonsai continuously inside.
And bonsais are continuously, you will have to prune the twigs, the branches, the leaves, as well as the roots. That means you are damaging it 99% and only allow 1% to survive.
Yes.
You will have to continuously prune the roots as well as the upper part. At that time, to rejuvenate, you will have to keep it in the shade. Only once it becomes a...
In order to prune the roots, you will have to take the entire thing and then prune it and then...
Yeah. That's why the bonsai is an art, It is not an easy, just put the plant and grow them. No, you will have to be behind that particular thing. Continuously you are trying to trouble the plant and prevent them growing, and ultimately you enjoy looking at the dwarf variety of that particular plant. So you call it as, artistically we say, nature in miniature. But you are continuously troubling the plant, and for plant, as Sindhu said, money plants are supposed to grow in the soil. You are putting them in your garden, in your bedroom, and troubling them, punishing them. So bonsais are all punishing the plants.
Yeah, it's all about
very expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive. Bonsais are very expensive.
Because it is years together you are manipulating the plant and bringing it to that particular shape. It's
and
not easy.
Just stop maintaining it. What happens? There won't be tiny leaves. If it is a people tree, when you're maintaining it, will be very tiny, beautiful, however you want it. If you stop maintaining, it will be just a stem with a big leaves, the normal natural leaves. That is why the
within 1 month, if you have spent 1,000, 5,000 for a miniature people tree, if you bring it from some seller and nourish it very and pamper it within 1 month, your 5,000 rupees is gone. You would start complaining the seller, saying that all of a sudden it has started growing.
Right. Okay. So I think with that we have almost come to an end of the question. Is there any other questions? Anyone? Anyone, any more questions? I mean, this has been really a very informative, session. Thoroughly, I especially me, I thoroughly enjoyed because a lot of good points, in order to have to be taken care of. So,
I'll take the direction from Akshay and visit Sindhu and Anjali, your garden one day.
Please come, sir.
Sure, sir. Please do come.
In the morning I was talking to my wife and said, we will one day visit these two people. They have got a small nursery.
Yes. So it's very humble, nothing great. Only thing is lot of interest. We have killed hundreds of plants, grown 50. That's how we know. But never gave up, sir.
But no, it's a hobby plus, as you said, plant parent. I heard a new phenomenon. Who is calling her? She said she's a plant parent.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh, yeah. Literally, I'm a plant and a parent.
That's nice, it's not gardener. He's a, plant parent.
yeah. Okay, any more questions, anyone? Okay, handing the session to Akshay, sir. You can,
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And, before I, take my, before I thank everyone for such a wonderful session, I really want to say that, right from the beginning, when me and all the volunteers who were initially there in Ankuram 360, I think we were just sitting and we were just thinking of how we can get people together so that we can connect to the public and talk to them and, tell them information that are lesser known. So, we wanted to say that, a scientific approach to things is possible by everyone. So, so we started off thinking about it. Somewhere in 2017, and then in 2018 we came together, the NGO happened. And today when I was sitting and listening to all this happening, we have 3-4 guests here, and 4 guests should have been there, but the 3. But it was so beautiful to sit and listen to that, and I was simply wishing if this was an offline session, we would have really had so much fun, because I can just sit here and understand the level of energy that is going through everyone here. And Sureshnath sir, I remember him again back from my classes again. He just took me back to the classes. And like Anjali ma'am as well, Sindhu ma'am, everyone, you have literally put maybe if you have motivated me personally, and you have motivated all the children as well to do the best of what they can to be an eco warrior as well. So thank you so much. I have to personally thank each one of you for putting in your effort, and it's been like a 5-week session where we have been connected to us, and we've done it, and successfully we have done it. So I really want I don't know if we are all much, but I really want to clap and thank you all for doing this session for us. It was such a wonderful session, and thank you for agreeing for that as well. And I'm definitely going to say from my side that I'm definitely going to try to do this as an offline session in future. I don't know when it is going to be possible, but definitely we will require an offline session where, with children we can be together and we can, sit there and guide them and teach them what gardening really means and what becoming a plant parent actually means. So now we realize, one thing when we start in gardening, the term is quite true. You don't take care of the plant, then they don't survive. So, we have to become a plant parent in one way or the other. So, I think thank you so much.
The two things I appreciated, Sindhu, in my beginning, and I was talking about pot mix, I had referred this particular thing. When my daughter was small, and she's the only one, so I thought of bringing a dog to my house so that my daughter could plan sharing and caring. But Sindhu started telling that even by putting the plant or giving 1 or 2 pots to your children, particular Akshay, you can plan now. Giving your child 1 or 2 pots and then caring and sharing and all that can be taught. That's wonderful.
Now, first thing is we are teaching it ourselves first. Because of your energy, we are taking it forward, honestly. Otherwise, we are very far away from nature. Somewhere we are slowly getting connected to that. So that's a very beautiful thing.
Actually, nobody can escape from nature. One or the other, everybody finds peace there. You have to go back. So what I was telling, see, this is the right time. What as your section has come up, people hit with second wave now. First wave, second wave, lockdown. And they went depressed. What did most of them did went gardening because there was a peace. Unknowingly we know it is there, the green, the flower, the mud, the soil, the smell. That is where the real. If I have to tell, I don't remember. I'm not remembering really well. But in Buddha's words, the seed seems very, very thoroughly. Anything. It seems Buddha as a child saw the ant literally closely and got enlightened, actually according to one book. Okay, so enlightenment lies in anything and everything, only we have to have that microscopic eyes to see.
Probably this definitely was an enlightening session then. No, but I really want to thank you as well. I just wanted to know, what were your experiences as such with Ankuram 360, of conducting this, for me personally, it's a grandeur, but how did it feel for all of you?
It was more than expected. Extremely new. It was a nice and beautiful experience and a very good beginning of something. I don't know what. Something nice is happening.
That's research.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to say is holding good. Alemberu Pasachi Guru. These are all young people, and I'm an old root. So when it blends very well, I think the experience of the elderly people and the enthusiasm of the young people, can make a synergic effect, and that is something what is to be done. Otherwise, as she quoted Buddha, I quote Bertrand Russell. There is a great writer called Bertrand Russell. He said, people should grow old, and they should, people should be born old, grow younger. Born old and grow younger, because when they are born young, they don't have experience, and when they are old, they have no vigor. So if you are born old and grow younger, then you have got the experience to start with and the enthusiasm to end with. So this is what happens now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But honestly, thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this. And Anjali, also, do you have to say anything or add anything to this?
I just want to say that I'm so happy with this concept, that teaching the children about gardening and planting, and they will learn a lot from this. They will not only connect with the nature, but it is good for their health and playing in mud and so many actions in the garden, and that will really help the children. And I'm really grateful for this opportunity and happy to be a part of this program.
Thank you. No, it was our pleasure to have all of you, I can't say under the same roof, but in the same
No nature, honestly. No nurturing. As Anjali said. So, nurturing goes with nature only.
Yes, certainly. So, we will definitely see to it that the phase 2 of the program, that's why we said phase 1 as an online program and phase 2 will be an offline program where we have big plans. We will definitely come back to you all. And, to all the people out there, we have a big plan coming ahead. So, Anjali ma'am as well as Sindhu ma'am and Sureshnath sir, Arundeep sir, all of them are going to be coming back to us. I hope so. That will be happening. No, but yes, we are going to have a phase 2 program. It's going to be much more fun, an offline session. So we will see to it that we can do it as soon as possible before the third wave comes. But let's see how the things are going along. But
are you all vaccinated?
Not yet, sir. Not yet.
Two doses are done, but still.
They're coming with the boosters, no?
No, that's the thing. Anjali got vaccinated twice. So. Okay, so thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. It was enlightening for me as well as I think it was enlightening for everyone. So thank you so much. And it's there on YouTube Live, so sometime maybe sir and you all can see the YouTube Live as well. So thank you so much, and I definitely want to say thank you for all the participants as well. I just want to say that the ones who have attended all the sessions will be getting a certificate. And you will have to first submit the work that you've done, the plans that you've done. So we will be forwarding it to all the people who have, all our guests. So they will be evaluating it. They'll actually say if the plant is growing good or not. You can always post in your questions as well. We have a group where you can post in your questions. Anytime we will forward it to them. If there is a solution for it, that will be forwarded back to you. So all the participants out there, please. Contact us back and say how your experiences was. Now that we are doing it on YouTube Live, please do contact us back and tell your experiences. And thank you so much everyone. And I definitely, feel that, our without the volunteers, I don't think nothing would have worked. Because the way they have taken it forward, contacting, arranging things, right from the beginning. The idea itself was not initiated by me, it was initiated by all the volunteers together. So I think I have to thank the volunteers, I have to thank the brains behind this, I have to thank the media that supported, I have to thank everyone, including the guests who are here. So thank you so much. And definitely we'll have a phase 2 program. So thank you so much everyone. And Asha ma'am, you are going to be our permanent moderator anymore. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for doing so. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye, ma'am. Bye. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
No, they left.
How is the book?
After the first.
Yeah. Woodland spelled like a wooden only.
Yeah. After the first. No, I'm thinking now you will be also calling them, no? I'll also call Subi and Shashi and finish the call, then we'll go.
Bye.
What's that?
He's the best friend. Your best friend.
You didn't even mention, I at least mentioned that you are a best friend in Instagram.
You know what? You did not. Did you tell her?
Wait, I forgot to tag this.
So I saw, okay, and I was like, the minute I saw it, I was like, nice, torture moment.
Yeah.
Then I said, you forgot me, no, and all.
How could you do that? Actually, I met her after his news. I mentioned her.
Hey, wait 1 second. 1 second.
And
One second. No, I'm not. You torture me after this. Put a message. Don't forget, we have to be giving a certificate to the guests.
No need to be
we just,
we have the template. We will change it.
yeah. We've thought of everything, Akshay.
Okay. Hey, वो सबमिशन किया है मैंने युवा
युवा
युवा युवा युवा युवा
क्या युवा
युवा I told you, no, the Indian government has come up with a 4G program.
That one which I shared from Twitter.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
mental
yeah,
illness.
yeah.
Oh, good.
I've submitted 5,000 words are there. One more. जान बाहर आ गया